Live report. You might remember that back in October, dozens of UMass Amherst students were arrested during a pro-Palestinian sit-in on the campus.
Now the UMass Police Department has updated their log procedures to protect students from online harassment. Western Mass News reporter Reagan Lokri joins us live in studio after speaking with one of those arrested students following the decision. Reagan, what can you tell us?
Abby and Chris, I spoke with UMass sophomore Joey Beers-Brown, who was arrested during that sit-in. He tells me he's happy with the campus police department's decision since many of his fellow students who were also arrested have received threats online following their arrest.
Some of my colleagues didn't go to class for weeks out of fear.
Joey Beers-Brown was arrested during a sit-in on the University of Massachusetts campus in Amherst back in October. He tells Western Mass News over 300 students marched to the Whitmore Administration Building demanding to meet with the chancellor, who was off campus at the time, to present him with their list of demands. The students were asking the university to issue a statement condemning the violence in Gaza, cut ties and end partnerships with war profiteers, and to replace those jobs with more demilitarized options for students. Now Beers-Brown says the chancellor refused to meet with the students, so many stayed after hours, leading to them being arrested. He says even before they were arrested, many students who were actively expressing their pro-Palestinian views were being threatened online. But after their arrest information was posted online by campus police, that harassment increased.
A lot of my colleagues have received hate on social media. I was posted on a doxing website, not my address, but just like information about me, called Canary Mission.
UMass Amherst provided us with a statement that reads, under Massachusetts law, daily police logs, including the names and addresses of arrestees, must be made public without charge to the public during regular business hours and at all other reasonable times. For several years, the University of Massachusetts Police Department has posted these logs online to ensure compliance with state law. Beginning in December 2023, UMPD police logs will no longer be available on the UMPD website. UMPD logs will, however, remain available to the public at no charge at the UMPD lobby at 585 East Pleasant Street in Amherst. We're told by UMass that the recent decision regarding revision of UMass police log procedures was made in recognition of the increasingly volatile online landscape and the prevalence of doxing and harassment. Beers-Brown tells Western Mass News he feels this was the correct decision.
It was a decision that was made due to protest and pressure from the students, faculty, and parents. So I'm glad that they changed that policy given the circumstances, because I think it was pretty reckless to do that, given the fact that students have been receiving threats already.
Now the charges are still pending for those students who were arrested.
There's about 35 who have taken a reduction to a civil infraction, and then about 20 who, myself included, who pled not guilty and are planning to go to trial in the next year.
Beers-Brown tells us why some of them are moving forward with the trial.
None of us, including the people who took the civil reduction, are apologetic for our actions. But I think that we do have a case to be made.
Beers-Brown tells us there are no further court dates set, and he believes the proceedings will pick up next semester when the students are back on campus. Reporting live in studio, Reagan Lokri for Western Mass News.